Welcome back. So in this lecture, let's look into the different data types what Python supports. I have one excellent article written in journaldev.com regarding Python data types. So I will go through that article and explain you what are different types we have. I thought to have one PPT or Word document to explain all these, but when there is an article over the internet with an consolidated sheet, I just want to show that directly instead of me creating again copy from all these articles. Okay, when there is already written out there. Perfect. So here, if you carefully see that Python data type are five different types we have here. One is a numeric, string, list, tuple, and dictionary. These are the five different data types Python provide. Okay. Okay, but you might get some doubt here that when we have seen in our actual testing file, there are integer, float, and string, right? But these are not present here. So basically, integer, long, float, and complex. These are the data types which comes under numeric parent data type. Okay, so what all we have seen in the last lecture are from numeric data type of Python. Okay, these are all sub data types. And how Python treats that as an integer here, whatever number you send, it's non-limited. All those numbers are treated as integer data type only. Okay, and if you want to have float, then you should have a decimal numbers, right? And if you give something like 10.2345, this is decimal, so obviously this data type will be float. And if you pass any number, if it is not decimal, then it default the type data type what Python treats that as an integer. Okay, forget about long data type because that is deprecated in the latest version, so I don't want to discuss anything about it. Now every number, even if it is a large number, that falls under integer data type only. And there is another data type called complex number, where if you have something like this 100 plus 3j, which is purely complex syntax, and for this the data type what they were providing is complex. But as I said, all these data types come under the main parent data type numeric. And there is also one great point here. In Python, we need not declare data type while declaring a variable like C or C++, which we already saw in our previous lecture, right? You need not declare integer or string here. We can simply assign value to the variable and Python will take care. And if you want to know what kind of data type, use type method. Perfect. So now you understood how numeric data type works, isn't it? Similarly, there is a string data type which we also saw here for our D variable, that when we try to print it's a string. It's pretty straightforward that whatever string you put it in double quotes or single quote, then Python treats it as a string and will give you the string output. Alright. Okay. So you might get a question here that, let me copy this. They are trying to concatenate two strings. A is one string, B is another string. Variables, right? These two variables are concatenated with plus operator. We just saw in our previous lecture that plus operator concatenation is not supported. But do remember, it is not supported only when you are trying to concatenate an integer and string. Earlier here B is an integer for us, 5. Okay, and value is string. As I said, you cannot concatenate two different data types, that's why you ran into error, and this is the way to do it. But here A is a variable, but that variable is string only, and B is one variable that is string only. That's why they simply concatenated with plus operator. You can concatenate for same data types but not with different data types. I hope you got a clear idea based upon this example, and the same thing they were showing here how to do with same data types. Alright, and the next and one of the important data type which I want to discuss is list. Right, let's go back to our editor and do some exercises on that. It's nothing like, it's nothing but array. If you are already aware of how arrays work in Java or any other programming languages, list also does same thing. Okay, so there is nothing different, but you need to have some extra operations to play on that list. So let me create one new Python file again for that. Data types, or we can say list. It's a generic file, right? So let's say demo2, something like that, Python file. Okay, so if you want to create any list which is like array in another programming languages, it's a very simple way of doing it. As you have seen in your examples, let's say values is your variable name which hold that list object. You can say 1 comma 2, and you can also pass strings. That's the beauty. If you are using arrays in another programming languages, you just cannot pass different data types in array. But whereas in Python list, you can send integers, strings, or what kind of data types you have, everything you can send. So it's a mix of different data types. Okay, it supports. If you provide the same data type, that's also fine. But I'm just telling you that you can pass different data types as part of your list. So there is an error here, but as I said, this is not an error. When you move on to it, you will understand that white space, which is code indentation. So give some space. It is expecting to have some space for each index it provides. Perfect. Error is gone. And this one is related to typo of string Rahul. So you can ignore it. It's like dictionary that it says no word found with the word Rahul. Alright, so values is the variable now for the list, and make sure that when you open the list it should be square bracket. Okay, not round bracket, because for round bracket again there is another data type. That's why I'm clearly telling you that it's a square bracket. Now, if you want to print the values present in the list, now let's say you want to print the value present in the first index, then the command is values 0. It starts from 0th index. So this variable of 0, when you say that, 1 will be printed in the output. So let me write that output also here, so that when you refer this code again, you will know 1 should be the output. Okay, and also I'll write some comments here saying this is a list. List is a data type that allows multiple values and can be with different data types. So this values name can be any. This is just an object name. Okay, you can create any name to this. This is up to our convenience to add. Right. So if you want to print 3, then what happens? 0, 1, 2, 3. 4 will be your output. Okay, so let's see that. I'll run this program and see how it goes. You see that 1, 4 is printed in the output. So now you know how to print the values in that list with the indexes. So if you want to print the last value, there is one shortcut. Let's say there are totally some 70 or 80 list items. And to get the size of it, you need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that, right? Instead, you can simply say -1. -1 refers to the last index of your list. And when you try to print it, it prints the 5. Okay, just remember, this is something new which you will find only in Python. So -1 will give you reference to the last index. So if you want to get the sub list values, let's say I want to get from 2 to 4, to Rahul 4, these three values, if you want to print it in the output, then you just need to pass the indexes of those. If you want to start from this particular value, then index of this is 1, right? 0, 1. So you have to say print 1 east and till what? You want till here. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, perfect. So when you say 1 is to 3, it will start from one index and it will keep on printing until the last index, which is 3. So this output should be 2, Rahul and 4 should be printed in your output. Let's see. Oh, sorry. When I say fourth, this is exclusive. Here to here, right? The last one will not be printed. So when you ask to print from first index to third, then 2 Rahul will be captured, but not the third one, what you put it here. It will start from 1 to -1. Yeah. So this is how you can extract sub index out of it. Let's say I want to insert Shetty word after this Rahul word. Can you insert between in the list? Yes, you can do it. Let's see how to do that. Simple command, values dot insert. Okay, insert. Where I have to insert? I have to insert here, right? That means 0, 1, 2, a third one. At third one, insert a new string called Shetty. Perfect. After that, I'll try to print this whole list, which is nothing but values. If you print this variable, then it prints the whole list again. You see that? The new list, what we have now is 1, 2, Rahul, Shetty, 4, 5. So that means you can inject new value as well in between for your list data type. So you might be wondered where will I come across all this, but when you do programming, sometimes it is required to add between or to delete or to insert. There are so many operations you will come across. For all those, this list will be perfect one to use, and it's like arrays, but it have more features than what arrays provide. Okay, it's like array list in Java that you can actually add values in between, at the end, in the beginning as well. Nice. So if you want to simply add the value at the end, no matter how many indexes you have, you can simply use the word called append. Append will add a new variable to the end, whatever it is. I will just say end is the new string I want to add, and then print it again, and you will see end will be appended at the end. Okay, so let me show very quick. You see that end is the new value in the list which got appended. So these are the two different methods available in the list to manipulate. Let me write the syntax here for your reference so that you need not run every time to see what does this print in the output. Alright, so there are two more things to know here. Now, if you want to update the value, right now this is in small letters, right? Now let's say you want to update that complete value which is present in the second index with a new value, then you have to say that values 2, which is nothing but Rahul, what we have 0, 1, 2, and assign new value to this like this Rahul. Let's enter this in the capital letters. Perfect. So with this assignment, now this Rahul word will be stored in this second index by replacing this word which is in small letters. Okay, so this is how you can actually update also your values which is present in this list, and at the same time you can delete completely. So you saw insert, appending, and this is updating, and there is one more called delete. So you can simply delete the value. Now I want to delete the first value completely. Okay, so in that case you can simply say del values 0. So if you say 0th index, then it will go and delete the 0th index completely. So two things you have done here. You updated the existing index and you deleted one index. So let's try to print after these two operations happened. Let's try to print the whole list, and now you will see the complete different list. You see that this is the new list. One is not present because we deleted it, and Rahul is now in capital letters because we updated it, and Shetty is the new word added because we inserted it, and end is finally present because we appended it. Okay, these are the different operations you can perform on the list. And at the same time, if you want to retrieve, you can retrieve with the indexes, and the last one with -1, and subindex with east 1:3. Okay, that's all about values data type, and you can just play around with this array, right? See you in the next lecture with continuation of these topics. Thank you.